A child's laughter is the most melodious sound in the world. It brings joy and hope, reminding us that even in this complicated world, there is a place for pure happiness. I often hear this wonderful sound at work. "What are you looking at, Emilia?" my best friend Kate asked, noticing my dreamy smile. "See that little girl in the red dress?" I pointed to the dark-haired girl who couldn't have been more than 5 years old. "Yeah, so what?" Kate looked at me with slight confusion. "Isn't she adorable? Look how carefully she holds that teddy bear," I replied, watching the girl clutch the toy to her chest with delight. "You say that about every child you see. You need to find a hobby, Emilia," Kate said with a smile. I knew she was rolling her eyes without even looking at her. "I don't have time for new hobbies, you know," I said, watching as the girl and an older woman who looked like her, probably her mother, approached the checkout. The little girl tried to put her teddy bear on the counter, but it was too small. Her mother helped her with a smile, carefully placing the toy in front of me. I smiled warmly at the girl before starting to place my order. "Do you like my teddy bear?" she asked, looking at me with big brown eyes. "He's just wonderful, just like you," I replied, smiling even wider. "Mom, did you hear that? The woman said I'm wonderful," the girl exclaimed happily, turning to her mother. "Of course, dear, and she's absolutely right," her mother confirmed, handing me the money. I carefully wrapped the teddy bear in a brightly colored bag and handed back the change. "Have a nice day," I wished, watching them leave the store. "You're just a master at communicating with children. Forget about your hobby, open a kindergarten." Katya grinned as soon as the door closed behind the customers. She had been standing next to me the whole time, watching our conversation. "Very funny. Maybe you should start putting new books on the shelves," I suggested, looking around and noticing that several shelves were empty. "Oh no, that's not it. I always do the shelves. Let's switch today. I'll be at the checkout, and you'll be on the shelves," she replied, making a pleading face. "Okay, lazybones. I'll give you my place." I sighed and headed to the shelves with books. "But tomorrow it's your turn." Kate clapped her hands happily and took my place at the checkout. I walked over to the shelf where the books were in disarray and began to tidy everything up. Working with my hands always helped me calm down and organize my thoughts. As I was arranging the books by genre and alphabetically, my thoughts went back to the past. Order and organization had always been a way for me to cope with the chaos around me. They gave me a sense of control and security, especially after everything that had happened in my life. When I finished with the shelf, I stepped back to admire the result. Everything looked perfect. I smiled with satisfaction and returned to the counter. "You did it quickly," Kate noted, ringing up another item. "Practice makes perfect," I replied, leaning against the counter. "By the way, don't forget that your lunch break is in an hour," she reminded me, glancing at my watch. "Yes, thanks for reminding me." "Today's plan is a salad and freshly squeezed juice," I shared. "Wow, healthy lifestyle," Kate teased. "Always," I winked back. The day went by as usual, and I enjoyed every minute of it. Working in a small bookstore brought me joy and satisfaction, especially when I could help customers find what they were looking for, or see the smiles on the faces of children hugging new toys. When it was time for lunch, I grabbed my bag and headed for the exit. "Can I get you anything?" I asked Kate as we said goodbye. "Coffee would be nice," she replied with a grateful smile. "I will," I promised, and went outside, enjoying the warm rays of the sun and anticipating a delicious lunch. When I returned, a conversation with Kate began. "By the way, I have a date with Artem today. Can you help me choose an outfit? He's inviting me to a fancy restaurant." "Do you have anything in mind?" I asked, seeing how nervous my friend was starting to get. "I have a couple of dresses, but I can't decide which one would be best." Emilia chuckled. "Okay, let's see. When is he coming to pick you up?" "At 7 o'clock tonight." Kate paused, then added, "Are you sure you can handle it alone?" Emilia tensed up a little, but tried to remain calm. Kate, don't worry about me. I can handle it on my own just fine. Besides, it's not my first time. In fact, the thought of being alone in her apartment made her feel uneasy inside. Every creak, every rustle made her get up and check the locks to make sure she was safe. But Emilia didn't want to worry Kate. She knew that her date with Artem was important to her friend, and she didn't want her own fears to ruin the evening. Seriously, Kate, don't worry. You should enjoy the evening, she assured. Okay, whatever you say. Kate paused for a second, then added, I was thinking about wearing a red dress. She was interrupted when the door to the store opened and a man walked in. Kate stopped mid-sentence. Her eyes widened. Her jaw dropped slightly. Emilia looked at her questioningly, and then turned to the new customer, and everything became clear. The man who entered looked like he had just stepped off the cover of a fashion magazine. His blonde hair was slightly disheveled, but he looked perfect. His sea-green eyes were warm and friendly. He was tall, muscular, and his presence was captivating. Kate couldn't seem to take her eyes off him. Emilia also recognized his attractiveness, but she knew she couldn't let herself get carried away. Men, especially men like these, could be dangerous. Kate finally pulled herself together and smiled welcomingly. Hello, welcome. How can I help you? I'm looking for a birthday present for my nephew. I'd like to find something special, the man said in a deep, velvety voice that chilled her to the bone. Of course. Is your nephew a boy or a girl? Kate asked. Emilia sighed softly, realizing that her friend had spoken without thinking. The man barely managed to suppress a smile, but he didn't show it. He only raised his eyebrows slightly. Kate realized her mistake and quickly corrected herself. Sorry, what exactly are you looking for? A specific toy? My nephew is into cars, especially the Hot Wheels collection. I'd like to see what you have, the man replied. Of course, we just got a new shipment. Kate quickly changed gears, then lightly touched Emilia's arm and offered, Emilia, would you like to show our guest the new collection? Emilia barely concealed her displeasure. Kate knew she didn't like talking to strange men, but she nudged her anyway. Of course, Emilia said, trying to keep her voice even. Please follow me. She led the man toward the car section. This is the new collection. Choose the ones you like best, she said, pointing to several colorful boxes and stepping aside. Thank you, the man replied with a genuine smile. Emilia felt her heart beat faster. She quickly turned away, telling herself not to get carried away. If you need help, I'll be here, she added, turning to leave. Wait, I need your opinion. His voice stopped her. There are several sets here, and I can't decide which one to choose. Do you have any recommendations? Emilia returned to the shelves and pointed to two different sets. This one and this one. They're both good. The man looked at Emilia carefully. Thank you. But maybe you could pick the one you like best? Emilia smiled nervously, not expecting this turn of events. Then I would choose this one. She pointed to a set with bright red and blue cars. This is a great choice, he said, taking the box. Thank you for your help. You're welcome, Emilia replied, avoiding his gaze and feeling her cheeks begin to flush. You can also choose between these two, Emilia added, pointing to the third and fourth sets. Or this one. She pulled out the fifth set, trying to sound as neutral as possible. The man chuckled. You're not trying very hard, are you? Emilia's cheeks flushed with embarrassment. She wanted to leave, but it seemed impossible. She didn't understand why her heart was pounding so hard within its confines. Usually, she reacted this way to strangers out of fear, but this time it was different. This feeling was foreign to her. It wasn't caused by fear. Sorry. I can call Kate. She speaks better Soviet, she offered, trying to leave again, but the man stopped her again. No need. You can handle it yourself, he said confidently. She really is better at giving advice, Emilia answered stubbornly. Have you been working here long? The man asked unexpectedly. I don't think I've seen you before. Have you been here often? Emilia blurted out, and immediately regretted it. She knew she shouldn't start a conversation with him, but she couldn't help herself. Quite often, he answered with a smile. I spoiled my sister's children, and now I have to find them presents. How long have you been working here? I don't have to answer questions from strangers, Emilia said, biting her lip. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude. Discretion is a good thing, the man said. Shall we begin with introductions? My name is Victor Lind. I don't remember asking your name, Emilia replied coldly. What the hell am I doing? She thought. If I keep this up, I'm going to get fired. Are you always this rude to customers, or am I special? Victor asked with a smile, but Emilia caught a hint of irritation in his voice. You're not special, and you never were, she blurted out, and immediately realized she'd crossed a line. Victor paused for a moment, then chuckled as he picked up 2 boxes of Hot Wheels cars. Wrap them up, please, he ordered, handing them to Emilia. Pick out some wrapping paper and I'll wrap them, she said, heading for the checkout. Wrap these cars, she snapped at Kate, who raised an eyebrow. What happened? Kate asked, mistaking it for a wrapper. You know it, Emilia replied, avoiding her friend's gaze. This man is a real find. Maybe you'll like him? Kate suggested. No, and you know why, Emilia snapped, seeing Victor looking at the wrapping paper. Here. He held out the paper, not bothering to look at her. Emilia took the paper and quickly began wrapping the box. She could see that Victor was trying to remain calm, but inside, he was seething. She knew she could have avoided his wrath if she had acted differently, but every time the man tried to talk to her, the mechanism of her door changed. Done. She pushed the box towards Kate, who put them in a bag and handed it to Victor. He took the bag without saying a word. Thank you for your help, Emilia. Kate smiled. Emilia? Victor asked, clearly remembering her name. Yes, Emilia. Why are you interested? Kate asked with a slight grin. I'm just curious about the names of people from different countries around the world, Victor replied, taking one last look at Emilia. Why? Kate continued. Knowledge is power, Victor said with a serious expression before walking out of the store. What did you say to him? Kate asked right after Victor closed the door. Emilia shrugged. What makes you think I said anything? He came in here calm and left tense, and you knew who he was talking to, Kate insisted. What did you do? Maybe I was a little rough with him, Emilia began. Emilia, you know this could end badly, Kate warned. Don't start. Emilia waved her hand. I'm saying this because he obviously didn't just leave it there. Kate looked at her friend seriously. He'll definitely come back. Emilia watched as Kate put the goods on the shelves, but her thoughts were elsewhere. Everything that had happened in the last few minutes did not fit into her head. She tried to forget about it, but the feeling of the atmosphere did not let go. The next day, as soon as she arrived at work, the door of the store opened again, and Victor walked inside. He walked confidently. His steps were clear and directed. Emilia felt her heart beat faster. Good morning, Emilia, he greeted with a slight smile that seemed to hide something more. Good morning, she replied, trying to look indifferent. I'll help. It's worth giving you a second chance to choose, Victor said, looking into her eyes carefully. Emilia didn't know what to answer. She didn't want to meet this man again, but something in his gaze made her feel that he was not like everyone else. What do you want to choose this time? She asked, trying to keep her voice even. How about you help me choose a gift for you? He suddenly suggested. Emilia froze, not knowing what to say. She had never received such an offer, and it threw her off balance. Why do you want it? She asked, tensing up. Because I want to get to know you better, Victor answered in a quiet and serious voice. Emilia was confused. The words associated with Kate were still ringing in her head. but something inside her said that this man was different from the rest. His persistence did not scare her, but on the contrary, attracted her. "Okay, I agree," she finally answered, surprised by her own decision. Victor's smile grew wider. He took a step forward, holding out his hand to her. "Let's start with a cup of coffee." Emilia looked at his hand and, momentarily shocked, shook it. "Let's go." They walked out of the store together, leaving all fears and assumptions behind. Something new and unpredictable awaited them.